Remember when Kevin Feige never moved a release date? Well, those are a fond memory and not something of the modern day, because guess what? We've got some big moves for Marvel Studios and 2 major movies have been shifted. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, and their new release dates. Well, perhaps we should have seen this one coming, because there's been a lot of writing on the wall when it comes to delays. Now, earlier today, we found that both of Marvel's upcoming Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, have been hit with rather big delays. But is this a good or bad thing? Well, we'll get to that in a second. Now, what we found out was Disney and Marvel Studios announced that Avengers Doomsday has been moved from May the 1st, 2026 to December the 18th, 2026. Giving Marvel about 6 more months to finish up the project. Considering they just got in front of cameras, this is probably a really smart move and gives the production team a little bit of needed breathing room. Now, as for Avengers Secret Wars, that movie has been moved to December the 17th, 2027, just under a year later. That film was originally scheduled for May the 7th, 2027. So again, giving them about an extra 6-month window. Now, I know there's probably a lot of disappointment sort of surrounding this news, but the writing's been kind of on the wall for a little while. The movie just did go into production, and we're hearing there's going to be a lot of delays and some shuffling around to get all these actors in front of the camera. The movie actually didn't start shooting until roughly a year before it was released, and that is a tight window. Layer on top of that, Disney actually had the Avengers movie within a few weeks of a big Star Wars film, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which was set to release on May the 22nd. And it really would be bad business strategy to kind of put these 2 big properties so close together. Now, this is probably the best move for everybody, and not only gives them more time to shoot the film and do the post-production, but definitely increases the odds on getting more of these actors that are trying to fit into the movie, with Tom Holland being at the top of the list. Now, it's also been confirmed that an untitled Marvel movie was removed from February 13th, 2026, while 2 other dates, November 6th, 2026 and November 5th, 2027, that were previously slated for MCU movies have been amended to untitled Disney films, meaning those slots are unlikely to be held by Marvel projects, but this does generate a lot of questions because we are hearing Marvel will reveal the rest of the Phase 6 slate at this year's Comic-Con, so they may have relabeled many of these things to kind of keep up the surprise. Now, one project that wasn't impacted though was Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it is indeed still slated to release on July the 31st, 2026. This interestingly places the film before Avengers Doomsday, and in the timeline of events, well, this seems to make a lot of sense. Based on all the recent news we've got about the project, well, it definitely seems to be leaning into that street-level adventure, and definitely suggests to me and a lot of other people that this movie is not going to be that multiverse mayhem many people are thinking, which was going to lead into Doomsday, but its own standalone project, which might dovetail nicely into the next film, but won't likely be influenced by it very greatly. This definitely makes for a better Spider-Man film, and something fans have been asking for, because even though we do like him in the MCU, while some of the previous Spider-Man films have sometimes over-incorporated MCU elements, and this one looks to be more of a standalone project. Now, like I was saying, we're going to find out a lot at this year's Comic-Con. We do know Avengers Doomsday is currently in production, and a lot is happening. And this release shift definitely gives them the time they need to probably get this project right. Obviously, none of us want to wait any longer for these movies, but given Marvel's recent track record and that refocus on quality over quantity, well, I'm perfectly okay waiting 6 months longer to get a great movie than getting something rather mediocre a little earlier. We're going to keep a close eye on both of these projects. Obviously, Marvel has a lot going on, and I think this total schedule shift will be much more clear after this year's Comic-Con, but we're going to have to wait and see. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know.